hiding behind the screens. Good afternoon. Welcome to I Am Sure Sports. This is Maninsman. How you doing? Maybe you're watching some Champions League game or you're watching the JPL. I know some of you are going to laugh at me because I opted to watch the JPL games. Yes, the semifinals were played, and though the Champions League games were going on, I chose to watch the JPL games and flipped every now onto the Champions League games. Nonetheless, I am able to give you the score for the Champions League, and then we are going to discuss what happened in the JPL. Again, good afternoon, good evening, good night. Thanks for watching. I am sure sports. Hope you're having a great day. This will not be a long video. Like I said, I'm just going to speak about what happened in the JPL games that just finished the semifinals. That is, but in the Champions League today, just give you a quick rundown of the scores. Uh, um, this is match day two. Atlanta defeated Young Boys by a goal to nil. You remember Young Boys? They defeated Manchester United in their last game, and so they suffered defeat this time around. Uh, Zenit St. Petersburg, they defeated Malmo by 4 goals to nil. Malmo had a player who was red carded in that game. Wolfsburg and Sevilla drew 1-1. The German side against the Spanish side. Wolfsburg had one player who was red carded. Bayern Munich defeated Dynamo Kiev 5 goals to nil. Yep. And RB Salzburg defeated Lille by 2 goals to 1. Juve at home defeated Chelsea by a goal to nil. Benfica at home dismantled, discombobulated the merciless Barcelona by 3 goals to nil. And Manchester United luckily scraped through at home with a 2-1 victory over Villarreal. You would remember that Villarreal defeated Manchester United last season in the finals of the Europa League. That is how Villarreal actually qualified for the Champions League. Very good game. I think Villarreal could have won the game, but nonetheless, that wasn't the case. All right, thank you and welcome again, um, those who have joined to watch. As I now move into what happened today in the JPL. If you watch the game, I think the quality of both games were very poor today. But if I were to pick which game was better, I would say the Tivoli versus uh, Cavaliers game was a whole lot better. I do believe, though, that Tivoli got the first leg wrong with some of the persons who they started. They had a youngster called Horatio Morgan who played in this game, played very well. And what happened is that he didn't play in the first leg, which I think contributed to them losing the game. Today, I also think they got the substitutions wrong. Jermaine Johnson, I think it took too long for him to come onto the field. I think he came on right at the point when they got that penalty. And he is their designated penalty kicker. But because he was just coming on onto the field, he gave it to one of the other senior players, Kemar Fleming, who kicked the penalty. It was saved by Jaden White, rebounded to Devroy Gray, who booted it over the top. I mean, really, and this is in the closing stages of the game. But I think Johnson, the designated player, should have taken responsibility for the penalty, even though he's just coming onto the field. Nonetheless, um, and this is why I am glad that some component of VAR will be implemented when the season restart, because Jaden White was way off his line. The penalty should have been retaken. All right. And that's just being fair, honest, and open. The penalty should have been retaken. The assistant referee was out of position and didn't see that. And so Tivoli ended up losing by a goal to 0. They should have scored that penalty, though you can't really blame the officials. I mean, though the penalty should have been taken over, you should have scored it. And they got back a very good rebound that Devroy Gray could have scored, and then Renico Wellington, who came on, also had an opportunity that he booted wide. But the truth is, Cavaliers themselves created some chances, but the goalkeeper, Nicholas Clark, did very well in the goal for Tivoli Gardens. And so after 40 years, people, 40 years, the last time Cavaliers were in the finals of the local league was when Leighton Duncan was in charge of them. You know, they are called the Duncan Destroyers because of the late Leighton Duncan. 40 years. And the team that average age is the youngest have qualified for the finals, and that I think that is tremendous. They play very good football. They made some adjustment to their team today. Didn't think they worked well. They didn't start Kamoy Simpson. Instead, they started with the guy Anderson, who scored for them in the first leg. A speedster from Calabar, formerly of Calabar, 100-meter runner champs and relay runner champs. And but he never had a good game. I don't think he was utilized in the best possible way because there weren't enough balls for him to challenge the pace of the Tivoli defense one on one. But nonetheless, I thought that was a bet. This second game was the better of both games. Um, Good coaching this season from Tivoli Gardens. I'm looking to see what they will do going into the new season. I think there needs to be some adjustment to how their team is managed. Yeah, in terms of age group and stuff. I think they need to make some changes there. Um, I believe that some of the players that they have, they're going to have to get rid of and build around the core of youngsters that they have. They have some good pieces. Trayvon Reed joined up with the team late in the season, and he looks well. Horatio Morgan is a young player. Penny Cook in centre back is a young player. Dasha Satchel, who came in overweight, got better. And this is what part of the thing. The off season, I want to encourage the local players that in the off season you still have to keep yourself healthy. You can't come back for a shortened season, 50 pounds overweight. How will that work? That can't work. So in the off season, eat what you want to eat, party where you want to party. But man, at least keep manage your weight better so that you will get into the flow of play more speedily. And don't wait until the back end of the season that you're joining your team, which could affect chemistry. Now, the first game was a very interesting game because I picked Cavaliers and Mount Pleasant to go to the finals. But the facts change. And I realized that there was some problems with Mount Pleasant. I think so many things have changed since Wally Downs has taken over the team. They fired their coach, Paul Teagat Davis, and two of his assistants. And the only person that stepped in was Wally Downs. And so he would have brought in his own team, a group of people who are unfamiliar with the Jamaican culture and context when it comes on to football. And I think he struggled in that regard. At least 8 players have been excluded from the squad that Paul Teagat Davis was using. Um, yeah, right. So, and he brought in Wally Downs. That is, he brought in players from the academy. So he get rid of some of the players like Leng, who was there, who was key at right back, was no longer a part of the squad. Francois Swaby, you have not seen. Ronaldo Rodney is no longer there. Cardell Benbow is no longer there. And so very strange things were happening. And you felt like, in terms of team unity and oneness, there was a missing link there. And you saw it today that they suffered because of that. They just never looked ready. They brought in, listen, this team went to Guyana to get a senior Guyanese international. This guy played under 17 and he has represented the Guyanese national team, even in the Nations League and the qualifiers for the Gold Cup. Kevin Lane. And he doesn't start at centre back. A 18-year-old academy player starts over him. And then you have to substitute the academy player because he's not doing well. Ladale Ritchie, their captain, got injured. And what they had to do was to move their right back to centre back, move their left back to right back, and brought on a left back. So for one substitution, three alterations were made on the field. Again, I think that was an poor decision. I thought the move to substitute also, Daniel Green, was poor. I think Kesson Hall should have been substituted. I don't think he should have started the game. I think Beckford should have started. Kemar Beckford should have started the game. I don't see what Kesson Hall was doing. He wasn't holding up the ball as the point forward. He wasn't connecting the plays. He wasn't, going into spaces, getting opportunities. And he keeps missing. He's not clinical. So whatever fascination they have with him, I mean, they need to deal with it. And so poor coaching and commitment, I believe, led to the demise of Mount Pleasant this season. I will say this. Again, it is proven, at least in the local leagues in Jamaica, that money is not all. Mount Pleasant has spent the most money and they still have not gotten to a finals. Right? It reminds me of a Port Morant United when they had Leon St. Louis and Russell Locktopie and all of these guys. And they never got to the finals. So money is not all. Money is not all. I think what the coach should have done is work with the players, because he had, including the finals, around 8 games. He should have kept the core players that Paul Teagat Davis was working with and Donovan Duke worked with the previous season, kept them until the end of the season, and then dismissed them. You didn't see an Evan Taylor, so many. I could go on and name names of persons. Kevin Graham. I mean, so many players. And that, I believe, led to the demise of Mount Pleasant this season. So one more season, and they are knocked out at the semi-final. I hope that going forward, then make some changes. Now, again, I'm not crying for anyone to lose their job, but whoever deals with recruitment at Mount Pleasant needs to take some responsibility. Some of the signings never made any sense. Asani Ricketts, they brought him in, and he can't start. What sense does that make? Somebody needs to be held accountable. I agree, Balakar. I mean, kudos to Manchester United, you won. Big up, Lee Young. Sports Frenzy, big up. Yeah, man. Yeah, whoever leads the recruitment at Mount Pleasant need to lose their job. Number one. There needs to be an assessment of the personnel in coaching. Number two. Some of the players that are there, they need to make up their mind. Mount Pleasant leadership need to make up their mind. Am I going to use my academy players and build, or am I going to have a mixture of older players? And how many older players do I need? Am I going to focus on people who are overseas in terms of my recruitment, or am I going to recruit around the league? Who are you going to recruit? And that's important for them to understand. They must be able to determine what they're going to do. Because something is amiss at Mount Pleasant. Something is amiss at Mount Pleasant. Something needs to fix. You can't be spending almost over $100 million, close to I understand, since they have been here in Jamaica in 3 years, they're running up to $1 billion and nothing to show for it. The academy team hasn't won anything major, and the senior team has only won a major league in St. Ann. That's it. A major league that we will not speak about. But yeah, Something has to change. Players had to go. I mean, Kevin Isaacs, who is a national player, very disappointed in him. I mean, you watch the game, people, and if I'm wrong, I stand to be corrected. This is a senior player. This is a player who plays for the national team. He has been called up. He walked throughout the game. Recently, I heard one person saying Ladell Richie should be called up to the national team. See, he's injured because he's older and he's not as fit as he needs to be. Very good defender, but he's not fit enough. Like I said, Kevin Isaac walking. Leonardo Rankin, who have been called up for under 23s and senior team. Look a shadow of himself. Probably the only person in these games who deserve any call up has been called up, as you know, that Jaden White. Listen, I don't want to get into this, but what amazes me is that for this series of game, listen to this, people, World Cup qualifiers. My understanding is that Jaden White has been called up. Good. And Dennis Taylor has been left out. And the reason given for Dennis Taylor being left out is that he's not playing any football. In other words, he's the captain for Humble Lion. They are out of the league. He's not playing. And Jaden White is playing, so they call Jaden White. But the same people are going to select Javon Watson. I'm saying that the standard needs to be transparent and full of integrity. And these are the things why the national coach and the people who select the team come under so much pressure, because they change the criteria for selection to suit their own selves. I don't understand if you're going to use the excuse that Dennis Taylor is not playing, so Jaden White must be selected. And listen, I don't have a problem with Jaden White being selected. Good goalkeeper selected. You don't have a problem with that. But the excuse cannot be that it is because Dennis Taylor is not playing. Because then you select Javon Watson from that same team that is not playing. Create some other excuse, but that cannot be the excuse. So Jaden White is going to travel with the team over Dennis Taylor, who has been there. Listen, I'm not fighting. I'm not fighting out Taylor. Good young keeper, kept under 20, and he did an interview on Talawa TV, and he said the thing that has changed his life was the 4-love that we got, the 4 goals scored against him in the USA game, and that has turned him around, and he's better now, and that is good. All right, I see all the comments. Eagle Republic, Lee Young, I soon come to them, and Brian, I soon come to them. Yeah, man, respect and thanks for the support. Right. So all I'm saying is that if Jaden White is going to be selected over Dennis Taylor, who has been, Dennis Taylor was in the Gold Cup squad. He has been around for these 3 games. If you're going to do that and eliminate him based on activity, then you can't select Javon Watson, because both of them are in the same spot. That's all I'm saying. The excuses and the reasons sometimes they defy logic. And then when you act like this, people can't trust that you're credible enough. And that is part of the issue. No. So Tivoli Gardens knocked out, Mount Pleasant knocked out. Cavaliers has the best defense in this league. Cavaliers have, listen, people, if you watch the game, there's one youngster that I've been impressed with. Since Jamai Topi has played in this league, he looks better than the rest. I'm being honest. I've always questioned his ability, but this guy is a good talent. Right? This guy is Jamai Topi is a good talent. Good talent. And I think he's one person that we need um in the team. Yeah, I mean apparently because Dennis Taylor is not playing any football right now, and Jaden White is playing in the league still, they are going to select Jaden White. And remember, I don't have a challenge with Jaden White being in the team. I think it's a good call up. But I'm saying call both of them, man. Because if you don't call Dennis Taylor based on him not playing any football, you're compromising your position to include Javon Watson. Mariappa I can understand because I figure that he's working out with a team, but it doesn't look right. Let me just take a few of your comments and hear what you're saying. Eagle Republic. Let me just take a couple. Management. What do you think of the USA 27-man squad that was dropped today? The US fans are calling Beerhalter some very colorful names for this. I'm telling you, like I said to people, I told you before that if the USA don't get 3 points from this game, they are going to fire the coach. You see how the standards are high? This man could draw the game and get 6 points and still be fired. I want us to understand that. And this is one of the reasons as well, Eagle Republic, why I'm saying that. What I would do, I would start players who can win the ball more and work harder. And that is one of the reasons I have some question marks about starting Magee, because I'd want Magee to come on when we have like 20 minutes left, if we can stay in the game. Because I think him coming on when the legs of the USA players are tired, he could create damage to that team, to this USA team. Yeah, no Pulisic, no Josh Stewart, no Reina, and a few others are missing. I think he's sticking primarily with the players that he used in the Gold Cup. That's Fletcher from. I agree. Listen, I've said this. Let me take this one right from Brian. I've said it before. Ricardo Morris was not the best midfielder. That's what I'm saying. It is not being selected based on who the best players are in the league. Ricardo Morris, in his position, was not the best player. Now, if they say they are selecting it based on experience, fine. But experience don't mean that the man is in form. And that is the issue. He was never the best player in his position in the league at any point this season. So if you're going to select players who are playing well, you could not have selected Ricardo Morris. And it keeps pointing to the fact that something is wrong with whatever criteria we are using to select the players for the national team. Something is wrong. Something is wrong. Yes, Balakar, I agree with you. I mean, like I said, I'm not making excuses, but Mariappa is training with a team. I think he's good. I think you understand me. So I don't have a problem with that. But when it comes on to know Watson, I don't know. I don't know. And listen, I don't want to be overly critical, but it just don't seem right. Yes, Fresh God. Yeah, he will not be included. I've said it before, and we'll say it again. Exciting performances can be misleading due to the standard of play. Lack of proper preseason has shown the league at its worst in some ways. Listen, Coach Miller, you're absolutely right. All right? The league, listen, the Mount Pleasant play was terrible. I'm going to tell you one thing, Coach Miller. One of the things I realize how poor our touch is in terms of the very basic things we're missing in the game. What are the basic things? The very basic in football is controlling and passing the ball. When you start playing football, you learn to control with the side of your foot and pass with it before you do anything else. That's basic. If you're going to play football, you have to do that. And listen, the passing at this level is terrible. I mean, I can go from Jordan Fletcher to like I said, Daniel Green. I'm talking about players who at some stage they have been in the national setup, either at the youth level, Alwyn Harvey. I got through some Mount Pleasant, Soleil McCullough, Ladiel Ritchie, Leonardo Rankin, Kemar Beckford. All of these guys that I've called at some point have been around our national setup. I don't expect like some simple passes. Like as soon as pressure is not even applied, as soon as pressure is seen, we lose the confidence to control and pass the ball. I will say the Waterhouse team look more composed. I realize that I'll say this. I realize that the younger footballers in the league have better passing and controlling ability than the older footballers. That has been my observation. And the quality of the surface has also shown how poor it is. Yeah, this is a good one. You're saying that if Watson can't play, Mariappa can't play. I think it's two different things though, Manasty, right? Because remember, the thing if I think if Watson were keeping up this fitness and say he was playing for one of these teams in the semifinals, it would be different. The problem is he's not playing any competitive football, and before these games, he has not been playing any real competitive football. Honestly, competitive because it's 270 minutes and he looked poor. It was a poor team, poor coaching, all of that. So that cannot be, yeah, we can't use that. I think Mariappa is in a more competitive environment, and that could be the reason why. All right, I will say this that Mariappa played longer when he played for Jamaica in the last game, which means that he's at a better place physically than um, than Javon Watson. And I think that is why people are making a distinction because I don't think Dylan Barnes is with a team and training. And I think that is what they are looking at. The difference with Watson is that Watson is has a personal trainer, which is I don't know. You know what my thought is? Let me tell you what my thought is. The coach is here. Why the coach did not take Watson, Ricardo Morris, Dennis Taylor in this down period, the coach should have been meeting with some of these players and find a CDM or two in the league here and try work with them, prepare them. That's what he should have been doing. Maybe that would help to fix some problems, not now, but in the future. Tell me how the USA players are going to get tired against us when we are always on the back foot defending against him. I don't see them getting tired passing the ball around so McGee can start. Listen, well, true. Um, like I said, I don't have a problem starting McGee, but I believe that McGee is more effective coach when he gets more space and more time on the ball. Because you're right, because the USA is going to have us on the back foot at the beginning of the game, and this is just my my humble opinion. Because they're gonna have us on the back foot, I think McGee defensive duties will take up majority of his play, and I believe that if he were to play at them when they are less um, energized, it could be better than starting. But if he starts, honestly, I don't have any complaint. But I just want to protect him because I think he's a real talent, and I don't want him to put in a game like this where because I had an observation, in all my time of watching the national team, I've never seen the coach really call over any player and spoke to a player like how he spoke to McGee. And I think because he's a younger player, why he was spoken to in that light. It helped McGee, and that is good. I think, though, if McGee is not doing well, he's going to get that treatment, and it could be demoralizing. But maybe we need to try him, and if it it doesn't work, it doesn't work. But yeah. How about players a train for a year before the commission start and still drop out? How is how is that managed? Just how and them training before a lot of the teams like the ten seriously. And here's why. Listen, money corrupts, you know. Money corrupts. Remember, they fired two coaches. One was, well, three. Nigel Stewart, I think his name is, Rudolph Stennett, and Paul Teagat Davis. Three coaches were fired. Cardell Bembo was released. Latroy Lang is no longer there. You don't see Francois Swaby. You don't see Kevin Graham. You don't see Evan Taylor. You don't see Ronaldo Rodney. I mean, it seemed like Kemar Beckford is not starting. Kemar Beckford was selected for the national team to go to Saudi Arabia. I'm telling you something is wrong. And this is what happened many times when money is in excess. Fletcher is the best striker in the JPL. Yet, you're talking Jordan Fletcher. No, yeah. If you're talking Jordan Fletcher, very good, but he's unfit. Jordan Fletcher is unfit. He's a next player that I think if he's not disciplined. I think his problem is not talent and gifting. It's discipline. I think that is what is holding back Jordan Fletcher. Discipline. Balakar, sorry, because I thought you were speaking about Andre Carr. Yeah. Well, I'm not blaming Richard. I'm not blaming them. Listen, I'm telling you, Richard, I watch the games. Controlling and passing. Like it's bad. Listen, people used to say, well, it's because the surface is not good. The players are good surface, and I'm telling you, there are players who, once they hear man on, they lose their composure and confidence. The ball bouncing off them. And that is just, and I'm not being overly critical. It's just my humble observation. Yeah, you're a coach, Coach Miller. Listen, I remember when I was playing football, brethren, I mean, so much emphasis. I've had good coaches, though. Maybe that is why. I've had Wendell Downswell, Everton Tomlinson, Bender, that's Lulu. I've had Danny Lynn. So I've been around Denden Hutchinson. I've been around Bradley Stewart. I've been around good coaches. Like from my youth days. Dave Scott, Boise Nicholson, Bengalane, they call him Nicholson. These guys. And they teach you the fundamental, controlling and passing. And maybe more emphasis need to be placed on these things. It doesn't look good for the league to be playing, the top league in the country, and players can't control the ball. Like I said, though, I must admit that the younger players play with more composure and they control and pass the ball a whole lot better. That I will say. Yeah. All right. So what I'll say in this situation, and I know Balakar and Brian is saying that, boy, if Maps can play, then if Watson can play, Maps should not play. All right. So I think it's different. I don't think you can treat everybody the same way. Remember that Maps was playing. Maps went to the Gold Cup. Watson did not. Maps went to Japan. He was on the tour with the team. Javon Watson was out of the loop, brethren. So there's a huge difference, and I don't think we can we can compare the Maps situation with Lowe. I think that is unfair to Mariappa because he doesn't look burnt out and tired when he plays for Jamaica. I am saying to you, the 270 minutes that Watson played for Humble Lion, he looked unfit. And we are not going to find out if he's fit until we put him in a game. And I don't think we can afford to do that. Don't think we can afford to do that. Hey, one thing, Balakar, what I'll say to you, you judge the players they're very hard, Balakar, especially the ones who I will say they are not local. Um, Rain Scorpion. I mean, I've been given this official squad has not been dropped, but I've been given hints about some of the persons. Yeah, Hardware also left Mount Pleasant. You'd remember that Jordan Fletcher actually left and came back close to like the fourth game somewhere around there and thing. Yeah. Yeah, I do understand your point, but that is where coaching comes into play. We should be a top team in transition, and that's where I see us not utilizing our strength. Yeah, we don't use our speed, and you will watch certain teams. I'm saying fine if we want to sit back and defend, but you have to have an out ball. How do you let's look at an example. And please, I'm not saying that Jamaica needs to be Arsenal, because you don't have to be Arsenal or Liverpool or City or Manchester to win in CONCACAF. You don't have to be. But Arsenal scored a second goal last weekend where the keeper played the ball to Granit Xhaka, who played it up to Aubameyang, who flicked it around to Smith Rowe. He dribbles, sprints down, cuts it back. Aubameyang score. 3 to 4 passes, bam, goal. We should use that. And I think one of the persons who have always said that, though I don't agree with all of it, but Craig Butler always says that one of our assets is speed. And maybe we need to look at how we can play in a system that affords us to use our speed more, especially in the transition game. And I don't see us doing that any at all. I don't see us, and we need to focus on doing that. Yeah. Listen, I can call. Remember, listen, here are the players that left Mount Pleasant. Mount Pleasant, I don't want to go through all of them, but remember, Kadeem Davis left, Dookie left, Ricardo Campbell left. Then Ronaldo Rodney left. Jamil Hardware left. Latroy Leng, not there playing. Francois Swaby, not playing. Ronaldo Rodney, not playing. Evan Taylor, not playing. Cardell Benbow, not playing. Something is wrong. And I'll say it again. Most of the teams that have come to Jamaica and spend a lot of money, they don't do well, because money is not all that it takes to win. You have to have proper systems in place. No, no, Balakar. Listen, they have not been playing well, man. Come on, man. They don't have a bad game. They have a bad season. Listen, there are serious turmoil, you know. The reports that you hear on the radio about why one coach was fired are serious things. There are issues there. There are issues that need to be looked at and fixed, or else they're going to keep struggling. They're going to keep struggling. Yeah, I agree with this. This is what I keep saying to people. The coach is under pressure, the American coach, and he has chosen the players that he is most comfortable with. I think Berhalter has decided, listen, you guys want to fire me? So here's this. I have this last game. I'm going to choose the players that I know are committed to me. So Jamaica better be prepared. I'm telling you, I did a video today and I'm asking the powers that be. Kevin Stewart is ready. At least for this game, call him and put him in. I'm telling you, because America the coach is under pressure to produce. There you go. All right. See there, coach. But coach, it starts with people like you and people like me. Like, what do we promote? Like all of us. Like, what do we promote? Do we promote good control? We promote laziness in Jamaica as coaches, some of us. Players come to training and don't give them all and want to play because they're a star. Because when them get the ball, we don't teach them, especially at the high school level. We don't teach the players to work without the ball. This is the issue with the McGee's and the Peter Lee Vassals and the Jordan Fletcher. They don't learn to work without the ball. Lamar Walker, we can go on and on and on. And until we fix that, some of these players are going to struggle. And I think it is one of the reasons it takes them so long to break into any major team in Europe or across the world. It takes them this long because they don't work off the ball. They don't. Yeah. One of these days, coach, you need to listen. Listen, we need, I don't know. People, if you're involved in coaching like Coach Jerry, we have to start teach. I tell people this, right? So I took some youngsters and I said to them, listen, do the right thing. And if we don't win and you do the right thing, that's good. Because here's why. If you do the right thing and the team don't win, you will win. That's how I coach my team. Always do the right thing. Meaning play the game the right way. I teach my players, listen, the only time you need to dribble, two reasons, to create space and to get out of trouble. Outside of that, pass the ball. And we have to have this in the minds of our youngsters. You dribble to create space or get out of trouble. Outside of that, you pass the ball. Because the ball will always do more and move faster than you can. And that's just how we have to start coaching people. We'll see about that. Fresh God, they need a new coach, maybe. I don't know. You know what? Eagle Republic on Thursday tomorrow we have the official JPL show. I think I'm going to have Rudolph Speed again and hopefully Dana Van Duki is supposed to join us. I am going to take the second part of the show to do this exercise. Take out all the players who are based in England and look at the rest of the squad to see how good that squad is. That's very good. Yeah. Listen, I don't even know if Tapa is under pressure. Honestly. I know the USA coach is under pressure, Mr. Porter. I don't know if Tapa is under pressure. I don't know. I'd want to think so that he's under personal pressure, but in terms of pressure from the powers that be, I don't know. I don't know. Balakar, you have to speak where you know, bro. When is you should expect it tomorrow. Tomorrow the birds are supposed to swing by, so as soon as the birds swing by, we'll drop it. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. There you go. Have to do that. Listen, so when I did like my course, I learned some things. One of the things you learn, like I remember there's a time when people used to love tackle. Until I have a friend, right, that he's close to a team called Florentina. So he normally tells me about Italian, give me drills and stuff like that. He always says this to me. That if you have to tackle, you already are in a bad position because the best defenders don't tackle because they're positionally well placed at all times. And we teach our footballers to tackle. If you tackle, you're already out of position. That's why you need to tackle and lunge. Some of the top footballers are not the best tacklers. They just win the ball because positionally they're always in the right positions. And I think that is the key. Sometimes we coach the wrong things. Yeah, Chris James, if you know my thing, I'm saying that there are at least 20 players, and I believe that there are plans afoot to get together some youngsters and start preparing them. I think so. I think they're going to get some of the younger players and start preparing them for next season. Need a new coach and maybe get somebody, Vassal Reynolds, if we can. Yeah, but from my understanding, your present coach is a part of the board there. So will he step away from it? We don't need Watson or Mattox. All right, Red Scorpion. Hear you. There you go, sir. Well, no. All right, listen. So, we have to be, listen. For players, like, you see this whole thing about pay cut at Mount Pleasant. Let me just say this. What these players get in comparison, what they get at Mount Pleasant in comparison to certain teams is ridiculous money. All right? There are players who get in the hundreds of thousands. And if in a pandemic a man said to you, listen, you're getting 100,000, we can't give you a pay rise, and you lose heart. In Jamaica, you're a footballer where you know that no other club really going to afford that. You have to think wisdom. But I just think the whole system there needs to be fixed. And if they don't, they're going to have problems next season. And that is my honest opinion. One of the most undisciplined players I've ever laid eyes on. He is the perfect example of a schoolboy, star boy culture. Yeah, I think, listen, Jordan Fletcher, listen, I don't understand how this youth. The man scored a free kick today. Look at the goals that Jordan Fletcher scored in this league. You know this youth have talent. He has talent. The guy has talent. Like, this school system is messing up some of the young players. I said to people, there's no way Tyreek McGee should have been in school and don't know how to play defense for so long. Same thing with Alex Marshall. Jordan Fletcher, Peter Lee Vassell, Junior Fleming. I can go on and on. Lamar Walker, Nicky Daly. These guys were standout, Marvin Morgan. We could go on and on and on and on. Here's what. They were being taught to win a game, not to play the game right. Not to play the game right. And the coaches need to change everything. This culture of winning at the expense of developing the players is hurting us. Is what we see in our track and field. Do you realize that most of the track and field, at least that do well in Jamaica, they weren't really stand out per se for the most part in high school? Chris James, mind you lose this, because I guarantee you that USA going to fire this coach and it's going to unsettle the team, and they're not going to top the zone. I think they are going to qualify, but I don't see them topping the zone. Fresh got the price is right. We're still going to try. The price is right is maybe we need to offer a price. There you go. Per Mertesacker, perfect example. Great defender, won the World Cup, and not fast, but positionally is always well. So I learned that, because remember, I told you, you've heard me say this before. I remember how the coach used to tell me, listen, you need to bust man lace. Till a coach sat me down and said, listen, if you have to tackle, You're already out of position. Out of position. All right, Ron Manning. How comes the US coach under pressure after winning the Nations League, the Gold Cup, and furthermore, they haven't lost any match in the qualifier? I am telling you, this is because of standards. Remember, like there is an expectation, and the expectation is by these amount of games, this is where we expect you to be. That is a passing mark. It shows us that how some nations rate and evaluate their coaches is completely different from ours. Completely different from ours. It's just like Southgate. How many times do you hear people calling for Southgate to be fired? Yeah, tune in tomorrow, Rain Scorpion, and you'll hear what is going to be happening. Yeah. No, man. Listen. All right. Omar, honestly, let me say this. Schoolboy football should not be the only place where players are developed. It is one of the places where players are developed. Wherever you play, if you play football for 3 years there, it's a place of development. So your primary school develops you. Your high school develops you. Your club develops you. All of these places are for development. So if your high school not teaching you to control and pass, then what's the purpose of them playing football? All of these avenues is not the place of complete development, but all of these different places serves as part of the developmental process. And that is why we have to have our best coaches coaching our best talents. That must start happening. Our best, and when I say best coaches, I'm not talking in terms of record, because record can fool you. I'm talking about those who have taken players and developed them in all aspects of the game: defending, controlling, passing, all of those things. Yeah, I don't know. Like people, I mean, honestly, I think somebody need. Jordan Fletcher is 23. I think 23. I think he's 23. I wish that somebody could sit him down, like sit him down and say, "Listen, brethren, you have the potential. In the next probably 3 years, if you work 2 years, if you work at your craft, by 25, if you work at your craft and dedicate yourself to learning and doing better, to be good." Like if somebody know him and could communicate that to him, it would help him. The guy is talented, 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 and it's going to waste. You know who he reminds me of? There's this guy who was at Dintil called Rodave Murray. Like, this guy scored so many goals in the Costa Cup. Rodave Murray, think took Dintil probably to finals of one of the leagues and stuff. Went to play overseas. Like, I don't know. Sometimes it feels bad. It yeah. Yeah, I know the schools want. I know the schools want to win, and I'm not saying that they should not try to win, but don't try to win at the expense of, I would call it, abusing talent. In winning, take the time to develop the talent because you win. Listen, if I am at a school and I'm winning, the school is going to win. You may not win the competition, but in the long run, remember that Woolmers never won anything with Bibi, except they got money when Bibi was sold. And maybe that's the way schools need to look at it. Richard Stewart, you have to be careful all the big words that say rebranding. I mean, I know that component, right? That is true because you have to be smart. I tell people like so. I remember when because I'm not big in structure, but I could play defense, I could play midfield, and I started out my career playing as a forward because of how fast I was. And people always ask, how am I able to do that? And I said, because listen, everything that I do with my feet was done with my brain first. And if it doesn't make sense in my brain, it's not going to happen with my foot. I tell them, I don't let my feet lead me when I play football. I let my brain lead me. And so I teach my players them that. You have to be led by your brain, not by your legs. Be led by your brain, not by your legs. Let your brain lead your leg. Never let your leg lead your brain if you want to be a good footballer. So I agree with you, Richard Stewart. Let's be real top up. Well, let's see what he's going to do. Let's see what he's going to do. You just get two stripes. You know what it needs for the better development of our players. The best coaches who can develop players. Winning trophy isn't always a good sign of a good coach. I'm telling you. Listen, I can tell you this. I know that like Bender, Lulu, Christopher Bender, very good coach. Don't win anything at Camperdown. Don't win anything at Camperdown. Danny Lynn never win anything with Constant Spring. I mean, Wendell Downswell had some wins and stuff under his belt. Everton Thomas is a good coach. Like, I mean, there are some good coaches that when you look at some of the talents in Jamaica, these players were developed by them. And it's not necessarily always like I said, winning a trophy. Because winning a trophy is just a bragging rights, really, you know. Like when you win the DaCosta Cup, it's really bragging rights because the school don't really benefit financially. I don't know because there's how much money is pumped into the school. I don't think any. So it's really a bragging rights thing. What will happen though if you have a player from your school who can move from a school because he's so talented to somewhere overseas, although he's connected to a club? There may be benefit for the school financially. And I'm saying maybe that is what we need to look at. That's what we probably need to look at. I've seen players destroyed by school system and poor coaching that were just designed. Like, all right, I'm going to give them, like I say, I coach kids who sometimes I take them from high schools, kids who play DaCosta Cup and Manning Cup. I've sent players to play in Manning Cup and DaCosta Cup teams, all right? Watch this. I normally sit down with them and talk and teach the game because I think that if you're in high school, you have to learn to play before you set to play. Before you get on the field, let's talk. See where you are. I always ask them, what are the 3 key principles of defense? These are players who go semifinals in Manning and DaCosta Cup. Defenders. And you know what they don't know? They do it, you know, but they don't know what they are. All right? And I said to them, it is pressure, cover, balance. One person apply pressure, one person cover, and then we balance. They learn coaching. But a lot of coaches don't teach that. I guarantee you that many coaches don't teach their players that. There are other things, you know. But if you get those 3 principles right as a defensive unit, because how you defend as a unit is different from how you defend as an individual. Simple stuff like that. That if you teach players that and they do well, your stats as a coach will also rise. When players start going around and people look at the man who teach a football, and you say, Coach Jerry, who teach a football, Coach Jerry, that person's stats rise. The attitude of the players that That's what determines how well they develop. Yeah, I think players have a part to do with it, but at the younger age, the coaches need to. I think the coaches need to make up their minds if winning is more important than developing the talent. Yeah, and let, Coach Miller, this is what need to fix. It has. It's like like we have to fix it. We have to fix it. We have to fix it. You have to teach a kid how to kick the ball properly, man. You have to listen. So in the States, well, some of you are in the States, you know this. When you go to these little, when you go to the field, like, well, I mean, Mansfield in Dallas, take the kids out to games on a Saturday. Many different competition, different age group, different field one, field two, field three. Listen, whether they win, lose, or draw, the attitude is the same. Craig Butler, listen to Craig Butler when he speaks. Craig Butler teams lost, watch this, they entered the St. Anne Major League and they lost almost every game. They finished at the bottom of the table. That's a team with, I think Kyle Butler played some games. But here's the thing, his players were still seen as the best in the league. They were never disappointed that they lost so many games because his objective was to develop them and to get them to play a particular way. Even if they lost, it didn't matter as long as they learned the principles and were applying them right. That's where football has to get to at the developmental level. Yeah. Well, I heard about Lenny Hyde. What I also want is, because I know of players who have come out of some of the, what you call now, elite schools, and when we're in the States and we meet and we talk to them, you'll be amazed of how they are treated like elitists by the coaches. I'm not going to call a name. Some of the coaches that we have high respect for, they treat players like elitists. Yeah, Bunny Shaw scored 3. Yeah, man. Although she and her team got 5 from Arsenal. Arsenal women. But big up Bunny Shaw. Yeah, good point. Development benefits the school. Of course, Amar Anderson. There's something from, yeah. Listen, if the school, you can imagine that you have a talent at your school and you have one of the top coaches, and you have a player who at 15, they go on a trial at Bayern Munich or Bars. You can imagine that, what that would do for your school, even if you never won the Manning Cup, and somebody know that from your school, every 3 years, one player goes into Europe because you have a coach who is developing the players. I tell you, listen, all you need is every 2 years, you produce one good 15, 16-year-old at your school. And see how the landscape would change. Yeah. And that's what I'm saying. Like, this is true, Coach Miller, because um like some schools benefit the whole, like, listen, the whole, I don't even like to talk about the whole schoolboy system. You remember I had Keith Wellington on a couple weeks ago, and tomorrow we have Rudolph Speed and Donovan Duki on the JPL review show. We're going to talk a little bit about this, because the truth is that when it comes down to schoolboy football, I believe that it should be under 17. Me, if you're 17 and over, you play intercal. That means if you're in sixth form, if you're 17, there need to be a collegiate league. So if JC have 17 and 18-year-olds, even if they repeat fifth form, they need to play with UA and UTech and those teams, or they don't play, or have a different thing. But it needs to be under 17 at most, or under 16. That means coaches have to develop the players from first form. When they come in, you get them, you start working with them, teach them the rudiments. Listen, because sometimes when they come into the school, it's not what they need to learn, it's what they need to unlearn. And that's part of what I do with my team. I don't tell anybody. I'm Mr. Porter is in here. Maybe you can answer this. The hardest thing is to get people to unlearn bad things. We have to start getting it right now. Coach Miller, you must notice that people need to unlearn certain things. Why you think the McGee's and these guys struggle? Because unlearning some of the bad practices are so difficult. Let me go back to Craig Butler again. He always says this. He doesn't allow certain people to coach his players because it's hard to get them to unlearn bad things. On people, I hope you're liking the video now, because we have around there's a few minutes, 8 minutes or so to go. Thank you. Yeah, man. Thank you, Chris James. Really appreciate that. I want to say that I'm the best, but appreciate the compliment. Yeah. Let me tell you something. The one thing you don't want to do, and that is why, listen, I like to work with the young people. I took some guys that were 15 and 14, and I took them, I worked with them. First season, I don't win any game, but I drew every game. Second season, drew a lot of games. I went all the way to Super League with them, because as they got older, they started learning. One of the hardest things I had to deal with was when they went to schoolboy training in the summer and play D Cup, and they come back to my team. It's like a completely different thing. I'm saying, brethren, no. These are our options. Remember, these are our options. I used to have a guy that every time the man come, him have this thing. Clear. I'm saying, listen, do not use that on the field. Where you going to kick with the ball? This is modern football. No matter how far you kick the ball boy, you're going to roll back on the field. So here's the thing. The best way to prevent your opponent from scoring is to keep the ball, not to clear the ball. So keep the ball. So even if you have to kick it long, kick it in space where your team can have a chance to win it. But there are schools that teaches them that clear the ball. Out. One big swing. We cut for it. Hey, you know, somebody said this to me just recently. I spoke to a coach who told the head of the, because normally in these schools they have the head of the PE, the sports department. So they said to the sports department person, listen, I want to develop some good players that when they leave the school, some of them can get national call-ups, right? And that may mean we may not win the league. You man say you're mad, man. If you're going to spend so much money, and you're right though, coach, you're going to spend so much money, we want to win the league. But you are so right, because here is the thing. The schools are not patient enough, because some of them know they can't win enough. Because the truth is, count how many schools win Manning Cup in the last 10 years. JC and a couple of others. Boy, you understand? So if certain schools win it, then I must find a different way to win. Remember, some schools win trophy. My boss want to be, I win by having players in Europe. That's what I want. The school that I'm going to coach, listen, here's my goal. We may not win Manning Cup. We may not win the Costa Cup. I'd love to. But here's the thing. I want at the end of my 3-year contract, this school have at least one player playing in Europe. That player can look back at the school and say, listen, my salary is £10,000 a week. Here is £1,000 this month. Develop some others. That's a big win. Because if the players who win Money in Cup over the years, where and the Costa Cup, where are they? Most of them can't get in the national team. So what was winning Money in Cup? What was winning the Costa Cup? If you can't even make a national team. Some of the players who win Money in the Costa Cup can't even start in the Premier League in Jamaica. So what was the big point? Wouldn't it have been better if they were trained and developed the right way and be in Europe right now? Yeah, there you go. There you go, Mr. Porter. That is true. You make mistakes. So I tell my, listen, like I say, a coach different. So what? Let me be honest with you, because one of the benefits I had is that I had resources to put into it. So what that means is that, listen, I could afford to do the right thing and still lose because I had the resources to do it. Some people don't. They're spending money, they can't afford to lose. So what I did to the players, I said, listen, you have the ball around there, don't kick it away, pass it out. And knowing that sometimes we're going to concede, but I wanted to teach them the right way. I wanted to teach them the right way. And that's what all of us have to do, people. If you're in football, that's what we have to do. If you're a coach, that's what you have to do. Prepare people. Brethren, the greatest thing you can do in life is prepare people to be the best of them, the best they can be. Forget about you. It's never about me. It should never be about you as a coach. It should be, at the end, my time in your life is to make you the best person you can be. And if I'm a coach, I'm going to help you to be the best you can be. That's our job. I'm going to teach you the right thing. Not just to win a trophy or a title, but to win in life. Because if you win Manning Cup and the Costa Cup, and there are so many in our country that they have won Manning and the Costa Cup, and they never graced the field in even a Premier League game. Let me give you some example. You count and tell me, recently Dintil were doing well in Manning and the Costa Cup. Tell me how many of the players from that you see out there dominating. How many are the St. George's players, the JC players, the KC players you see out there dominating? How many of them are in the national setup? Check Clarendon College. I remember the time when Clarendon College had this baller named Cornell Learman. Man, you said, this man is going to be the next big thing. Eric Vernon, hey, this man is going to be the next big thing. They had Lambert, hey, this man is... I used to say that, listen, I used to hear about these Clarendon College players, and I used to say, yo, man, they're not playing football. There's some of them. They just had one called Craigton Charleston. Not playing no football, man. Because it was just about preparing them to win money in the Costa Cup. Life goes on. Some of these guys could have made serious money. And that is the thing. We are denying some of these youngsters the opportunity to be millionaires. To be millionaires. If we just took time to develop them right. Yeah, look at Stewart at Waterhouse. Former St. George's standout. Everybody say he was the greatest thing since sliced bread. Man, Robin Bench now, although he was overseas. Robin Bench now. Oh, there you go. Thank you, Fresh God. He's playing football. But I'm saying, listen, I don't even hear about Craigton Charlton anymore. I'm glad to know that he's playing. But you don't even hear about these guys. Listen, go back to some of the Arnett Garden team. I'm talking about not the Cornell Chinsu, but the Marcelino Blackburn and all of these guys who came through, the Charlie Smith team. Where are they? Where are they now? The Russies team. Brian Brown is probably the only one to remember. Where's the Fogarty guy? A couple of seasons ago. Charlie Malcolm's son was on. Where are they? Because look at the States team. The big forward called James. Where are they? Because some of the emphasis is wrong. And we have to change focus if we want real success. Yeah. Forget about you. Yeah, my Brian, Fresh God just said that he's in college playing some football, which is good. Which is good. You understand me? But the point still remain. Like some of these guys, I think if they were developed the right way, it cannot be that in so many years, the only major talent that Jamaica has produced didn't even play schoolboy football. Let me say it again. It cannot be that Leon Bailey right now is a standout or standard bearer and never played schoolboy football in Jamaica. Can you imagine that? Schoolboy football that we promote. Who is the biggest star? All right. Here's what I'm going to challenge you to do. Who is the biggest star in schoolboy football right now? Who complete schoolboy? Who is a big star? Yeah. Coach Miller, listen, you and I need to sit down and talk about this with some of these people. I keep telling you, number one, certain age group. Number two, listen, if you're certain schools, listen, I'm going to put it in two pools. Pool A, Pool B. You can get demoted and promoted. Pool A schools, I know there are some top schools, you are in it. You have to meet a certain gradient. Meaning, if for the last 10 seasons, you have had this amount of wins in your thing, you're a Pool A school. That means the best players are playing. And here's the other thing that I'm going to do, Coach Miller, because this is something you and I need to work out and write down and give to them. In those schools, maybe because you have B and C coaches. If you're a C coach, maybe you can be in the B pool. But to be in the A pool of schools, you have to have a certain coaching credential. So I want to know that in the A pool, the best coaches are there, coaching some of the better talents. It will be more competitive. The coaches will have to get better. The players are getting better. And the age group must change. I'll ask, where is Fogarty? That Russell's team, I think they won Dakar Stock Up. No, it's crazy things. I remember there was a Froome High School with O'Brien Woodbine and this guy called Delano Rankin. Man, they just disappear. Well, they're somewhere probably playing football. I don't know. Yeah, this is a good point, Richard. Some of the players who they do well, yeah. In NFL normally don't even win. There you go, because they are developed better. And this is what I'm saying, Normally, even like you look at Draymond Green, if you look at even the NBA, sometimes in the NBA, some of the better players and championship teams in the NBA also they never win the major titles. They came from some what you'd call, they did so well at some other school and probably spent more years in college and developed and became good talent. The Russell's team, yeah, I think they beat Clarendon College that year. That's true. Like, I don't know. Somebody can tell me how many of those players from Russies even playing in the Premier League? Part one, management. Let's be honest, Leon Bailey is the only star, properly developed player that Butler has. I assure that out of the so-called schoolboy stars, more of them have. All right, no man, listen. All right, so I'm not. Listen, I'm not. I'm not giving undue credit. I agree with you that so far from Phoenix, Bailey has. So it's not about the coach. I am saying though, the one player that is a standout, we we never play schoolboy football. So my point is that we have had so much talent. Like, I remember Alex Marshall. I'm almost certain that he had an opportunity while at St. George's to go overseas, I think to Germany. And for some reason, he ended up staying at St. George's. I told people that Junior Fleming should have left JC long time. Same thing I said about Tyreek McGee. Should not have gone back for the last year. I said Lamar Walker should not have tried to come back to play schoolboy football. I told people those things, And they beat me and say, what you talk about? The man them want to win this and them want to win that. I say, all right, I'll leave it alone. Because people take school thing very personal, Hey, man, still listen. Man, if you have the conversation, listen. All right. I hear you. Remember, man, still. You know that I did not mention. You are mentioned Felix and coach. All I'm saying to you is that the only talent that we have, major talent right now in football, did not play. That's what I said. He did not play schoolboy football. It's not about Phoenix. Not about the coach. He did not play schoolboy football. It is unfortunate that that is the case when we have seen so much talent. And I'm saying that some of them have gone on and gone to college and they're doing well for themselves. I am saying, though, that I believe if some of these talents were developed better, they could be millionaires in the sport. Yeah. True, true, coach. Let me just take this from Brian Mighty. Listen, people, we have a couple more minutes to go. No, man. No. Brian, I think Brian, hold on. I soon come back. Coach, I soon come. Brian, I think you're missing, Remember, I am not comparing what happens at Phoenix with schoolboy. No, I am not doing that because there are other factors and other reasons. All right. So let me say it to you again. The reason why I brought up the Leon Bailey issue is this, and I do understand that some people get into football as a pathway to education. So some youth play football because they want to get into college. So they play football, do subjects, and that is fine. Absolutely fine. I chose that. Football helped me in getting myself properly educated. That was my thing. I never felt like I would have been a millionaire from football, though I could play it good. Right? Very well, I think. Fine. So that is it. All I'm saying is that it cannot be, and I call some names, that all of these talents were here, and somehow we have not managed to manage them well enough to make at least one of them in the last 20 years a global star. That's all I'm saying. We should have at least been able to take one. All I'm saying, just one in the last 20 years coming out of our schoolboy football to do well. One. That's all I'm saying, Brian. But you do make some important points. But I'm not making a comparison with Phoenix and stuff. No, that's not what I'm doing. Yeah, Norman Campbell. All right, all right. Brian, I'm gonna beat you on this, you know. Bibi Gardner, long time. Teddy Johnson, long time. Kaim Paris, well, very good. He's away. Went to Dintil. I mean, and that Dintil team, I mean, I think that they probably went to, I think they went to the semifinals. Norman Campbell won with JC. Taxi did well at school level. Bowser, I don't know that. Bowser did well at school level. Really? Don't know. Don't know. I think Norman Campbell development was slowed down. I can tell you that. I personally believe Norman Campbell should be way ahead of where he is right now. That's what I believe. Yeah, I know that there was some problem with and Santos. I'm going to check on that. Fresh God, can you do some research for me? Because I know you're close to that side and let me know what is going on with what really happened with Lamar Walker. Okay. Well, that is true. That's what I said that. And some of them were doing it for fun. Some were doing it to get ahead educational. But you see, if you're playing it for fun and you're so good, I could also find a way to say to you, listen, you can be a millionaire from this. Hold on. Hold on. Man of Steel. Oh, yeah, pressure me. All right. Let's go through this, Man of Steel. All right. Bowser. How many good seasons Bowser had in Manning Cup? God, isn't this underscoring my point? You're really helping my point, you know, Man of Steel. But we're going to leave this because I'm going to have to run. But Man of Steel, let me tell you why my point is valid. Bowser wasn't in one of the traditional high schools. I want you to remember that. He wasn't in one of the traditional high schools. Let me tell you this with Blake. Let me give you with Blake. Paul Campbell is the goalkeeper coach. They have developed a system where they were taking players like Blake, Dennis Taylor, and other young goalkeepers going all around the island. Ask Andre Blake. That's what I'm talking about. Paul Campbell, when he was in Jamaica, was going all around Jamaica looking for the best goalkeepers. And every Saturday, I think he and Aaron Lawrence and some other people were having sessions with them. And out of that, Andre Blake. That has stopped. It needs to restart. We need to have goalkeeping camps and get some of our past goalkeepers to come in and work with them. Yeah, get some probably like a Bibi to have some camps where they work out. They work out with like players who are left-sided defenders. But I know that is one of the things that helped Blake. Paul Campbell, I think the goalkeeper coach who was going around Jamaica. And they would find some of the top young goalkeepers, and every Saturday they would have camps with them. Those are the things we need. Okay. So how you're not bringing up that? Yes, you're this man stay. How you not bringing up that part of the Andre Blake story, and you know it? You see. All right, but still. I know you're just adding to the conversation, so I'm happy for that. Yeah. Yeah, it's true. It's what the parents says go. But listen, parents also can see talent. And like, look at Usain Bolt parents. They didn't resist him doing track and field. You understand me? So there is a place. I'm not saying that every child need to do this. Not every child need to do this. I am saying that there must be one. Like Alex Marshall is an example. Junior Fleming is an example. Their development should have been further ahead. Jordan Fletcher, let's talk about these ones. Let's not bring up the ones who somehow they are in you. Let's look at all the others who have failed because we were more interested in getting these kids to win than developing themselves to earn millions to help their families. Some of these guys' families are still struggling because we were focused on using them to win titles and trophies. Yeah. Oh, okay, Leon. Yeah. No, Manasti, listen. And Manasti, let me say this to you. Jerry's asking this thing because when you talk about Bowser was dominating at Boys Town at under 12 and all of those things long before schoolboy football. I can tell you that. I can tell you that. Listen, people forget that when Blake was in Clarendon, people remember that Clarendon used to have good football, youth football competition going on. And players were being developed by the youth teams in Clarendon. I'm telling you these things. That some of that has stopped because too much emphasis is on winning. Too much. Listen, good show. We started talking about the JPL. It was supposed to be an hour show. We gave you an hour and a half, but we're gonna have to leave you because tomorrow we're gonna do the official JPL preview review show. Rudolph Speed will be on. We'll be having a couple of players that we're gonna be talking to as well. Talking to them about their thoughts on the league this season, and we'll also hopefully have Coach Donovan Duki, who coaches at Veer. Listen, it is it is my joy and my pleasure to have you. You understand me? And we keep having conversations that can help to build and develop the whole football landscape. I am all for criticizing the failures, but I believe that where we can, we need to add suggestions and ideas to bring forth change. And that's part of what I want us to do. When we come on the platform, there are times when we criticize and we say, this man out, this man out. But we have to sit down and have the kind of dialogue that will benefit the football. I love the conversation with Brian Mighton. I love how Fresh God is speaking about what is happening in Clarendon. Mr. Porter, Coach Miller, Lee Young. I love those things. Omar Anderson. When we have these kind of conversations, we hope that it will fall into the right ears. Drastic Seymour, Bala Carr, Rain Scorpion, Chris. Yeah, when we have these Eagle Republic, when we have these kind of conversations, what happened is that it let people know that we are not just against, we are here to build up, and they can be a part of it. So thank you again for keeping the conversations vibrant, healthy, and strong. Listen, hit the subscribe button if you have not yet subscribed. Like the video. Join us tomorrow when we talk to Rudolph Speed and Donovan Duki and a couple of players out of the JPL about the finals that are coming up. And we're going to do a watch along for the finals. And we're going to, the Birds have promised to drop by 30 names to me tomorrow. Let's see if I'll get that. I could get it tonight because it's about bird time right now. So I'm going to check on the Birds and see what is happening. Listen, stay safe. And again, thank you so much for all the support that you give to me every day. Share the video, hit the like button, and subscribe. Bless up, one and all.